The Antarctic structure pulsed with blue light as Nareth prepared the central hub. Commander Wade watched as volunteers from her crew and the research team took positions around a circular platform. Once activated, the quantum link will connect all humans with awakened precursor genes, Nareth explained. Those who have prepared themselves can serve as conduits for ascended consciousness. And those who haven't prepared? Ethan asked. They remain themselves, though they may experience strange memories or dreams, the precursor answered. Only willing minds can fully merge with an ascended. On Mars, the situation had worsened. Gregory Phillips had taken control of the colony's defenses, threatening to use precursor technology against Earth unless humanity surrendered to purification. The corrupted seek to force their way into human minds, Salther said. It would destroy both host and corrupted in most cases, creating monstrosities. Wade made the difficult decision. Activate the network. We need the Ascended's help. Olivia Nichols had spent days studying the quantum patterns. Humans have a unique neurological structure, she explained. Our brains can integrate precursor consciousness without fragmenting. That's why Earth was so important to them. Nareth touched the central controls, and energy surged through the network. Across Earth, people near precursor sites felt a gentle presence touch their minds, offering, not demanding. In Antarctica, several volunteers glowed with soft light as ascended consciousness merged with their own. They remained themselves, but with access to ancient knowledge and abilities. The merge is successful, one volunteer said, her voice carrying new depth. We remain ourselves, but with the Ascended's wisdom. On Mars, Phillips sensed the activation. They awaken our enemies. He raged. Launch the attack. The corrupted colonists fired precursor weapons toward Earth. The Galactic Council fleet moved to intercept but couldn't stop all the energy blasts. Wade watched in horror as destructive beams headed for major cities, but before they could hit, shields of energy appeared, created by newly awakened precursor sites. The defense network still functions, Nareth said with relief. The merged volunteers worked together, using their new abilities to counter Phillips' attacks. They established a protective field around Earth, while sending a targeted pulse toward Mars. We offer healing, not destruction, one said, channeling ascended power. Even the corrupted can be restored. The pulse reached Mars, surrounding Phillips and his followers. Most dropped to their knees as the energy touched them. The fragmented, corrupted consciousness within them began to stabilize. No, Phillips screamed, fighting the healing effect. He had gone too deep into corruption. He activated the most powerful precursor weapon, aiming it at Earth. Wade ordered the Dauntless Asterisk to fire on Phillips' position. The ship's weapons combined with ascended energy, neutralizing the threat. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council lifted Earth's quarantine. The council chambers hosted a historic meeting where humans, some merged with ascended consciousness, others entirely themselves, took their place among galactic civilizations. We feared Earth for eons, the Eldurian High Council admitted. Now we understand it was not fear we should have felt, but hope. Zalthir explained to Wade what the Eldurians had finally realized. Earth was never meant to be feared but protected. It was the Precursor's final project, a world designed to nurture a species capable of succeeding where they have failed. Humans were engineered over millions of years, Ethan added, to become the peacekeepers of the galaxy, beings who could bridge the gap between physical existence and pure energy. Wade stood at the Antarctic hub, now transformed into an Earth embassy for the galaxy. The feared typo designation had been replaced with a new classification, inheritors. So that's the terrifying truth, Wade said to Nareth. The galaxy's oldest species feared us because we were designed to become more powerful than they ever were. Not just powerful, the precursor replied. Balanced. Where we fragmented, you remain whole. Where we divided, you unite. The fear was never of what you would destroy, but of what you would create. As Wade looked out at the stars, she saw them not as distant points of light, but as humanity's birthright and responsibility. A galaxy waiting for the healing that only Earth's children could bring. Commander Wade led her team through the Antarctic base, now transformed by active precursor technology. The walls glowed with strange symbols, and the air hummed with energy. Behind her walked Salthyr and 3 other Eldurian scientists, who had broken from their species' leadership to help humanity. "The central hub is ahead," Professor Porter said, guiding them through new corridors that had opened in the ice. "That's where we found the preserved precursor." The chamber they entered was vast, with a domed ceiling that showed projections of stars and galaxies. In the center stood the awakened precursor, tall and otherworldly, its 6-fingered hands moving over a control panel. "It calls itself Nareth," Diane explained. "It says it was a scientist from the late precursor era." Wade approached cautiously. "Can you communicate with it?" "I speak your language perfectly," Nareth said, turning to face them. Its voice was melodic and strange. "I learned it while sleeping. Your minds are open to us." Ethan stepped forward. "What exactly are you? What happened to your civilization?" Nareth's eyes shifted colors as it spoke. "We were the first. When the galaxy was young, we evolved and spread across the stars. We built wonders and seeded life on countless worlds." "Why did you disappear?" Wade asked. "We sought to transcend physical existence," Nareth explained, "to become beings of pure energy and thought. Some succeeded. They became the ascended. Others failed and fragmented. They became the corrupted. Their consciousness scattered across dimensions." Salthyr moved closer. "And the Eldurians?" "Our children," Nareth said. "Those who chose to remain physical beings. They have watched over our sleeping forms for billions of years." On the main screen, they saw reports flooding in from around the world. More precursor structures had activated, and people near these sites reported strange dreams and new abilities. "You've been influencing human evolution," Ethan realized. "Guiding our development." "Yes," Nareth confirmed. "Humans were designed to succeed where we failed. Your brains evolved specifically to safely handle the transformation process." Wade looked at the Eldurians. "Is this why you feared Earth? Because humans might reawaken the precursors?" Zalthir's skin rippled with colors. "We feared what might happen if the corrupted returned first. They seek physical hosts to rebuild their fractured minds." "Like Gregory Phillips on Mars," Ethan said grimly. The screen showed the Mars colony. Phillips had gathered followers among the colonists, people whose eyes now glowed with the same strange light as his. They worked to activate more precursor devices. "He is vessel to multiple corrupted fragments," Nareth said. "They will use your technology to awaken more of their kind." "Can they be stopped?" Wade asked. "Not without help," said Nareth. "The Ascended would intervene, but they need compatible minds to communicate with this plane of existence." Olivia, who had joined the Antarctic expedition, studied data flowing across nearby screens. "These quantum readings suggest consciousness transfer is possible through the network, but it would require willing human hosts." "That's too dangerous," Wade protested. Zalthir placed a hand on Wade's shoulder. "This is why we feared Earth, yet also hoped for it. Humans might either release the corrupted upon the galaxy again, or help heal the ancient rift between ascended and corrupted precursors." On Mars, Phillips used Helios technology to broadcast a signal toward Earth. "The weak shall be purified," he announced, his voice reaching every communication device worldwide. "Only the worthy will transcend with us." Nareth's expression grew grim. "He plans to force corrupted consciousness into unwilling human hosts. It will destroy their minds and create monstrous hybrids." Wade looked at her team, then at the precursor. "What can we do?" "We need to activate the full network," Nareth said, "but controlled by willing humans working with ascended guidance." The ancient being touched the control panel, and the chamber illuminated with a detailed map of Earth, showing all precursor sites pulsing with energy. "Your species stands at a crossroads," Nareth said. This is the moment my people prepared for across billions of years. Humans must choose whether to help heal our ancient wounds or become vessels for our ancient mistakes. Earth shook with unprecedented force. Earthquakes struck simultaneously across all continents. Mountains trembled and oceans churned. People ran into streets, looking up at the sky turning strange colors. In Antarctica, Professor Diane Porter held onto a console as the ancient structure rumbled around her. Walls shifted, and new passages opened. "The entire structure is changing shape," Frank called out. "It's reconfiguring itself." On their screens, they watched as similar events unfolded worldwide. In the Mariana Trench, underwater cameras showed massive stone structures rising from the ocean floor. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid glowed with strange light. At Yellowstone, the ground cracked open to reveal metal surfaces beneath. "They're all connected," Diane whispered. "These aren't natural formations. They're machines, built to look like natural structures." On the Dauntless Asterisk, Commander Wade supervised the evacuation of the Mars colony. Most colonists were safely aboard, but Gregory Phillips remained in the chamber with the precursor device, surrounded by strange energy. Ethan Miller studied biological samples from the rescued colonists. Under his microscope, he saw something impossible. "Their DNA is changing," he told Wade. "The colonists who worked closely with the artifacts show activation in previously dormant gene sequences." "What does that mean?" Wade asked. "These gene sequences exist in all humans," Ethan explained. "They've always been there, but inactive. The precursor technology is turning them on." Before Wade could respond, a message came through. The Eldurian High Council was requesting direct communication with Earth governments, breaking centuries of protocol. On the main screen, 3 senior Eldurians appeared. Their skin pulsed with urgent colors. "We have little time," said the central figure. "What you call the awakening has begun. Explain," demanded Admiral Perry from Earth Command. "The precursors were not extinct," the Eldurian said. "When their civilization reached its peak billions of years ago, they faced a choice about their future evolution. Instead of dying, they entered suspended animation. They seeded countless worlds with their genetic material, including Earth." "Are you saying humans are precursors?" Wade asked. "You carry their genes," the Eldurian replied. "Dormant precursor DNA exists in human genetic code. The activation of their technology is now triggering these sequences." In Antarctica, Diane and Frank discovered a chamber deeper than any they had explored before. Inside stood a row of crystal pods. Most were empty, but one contained a tall, 6-fingered being suspended in clear liquid. "A precursor," Frank whispered, "preserved all this time." The being's eyes suddenly opened. On Mars, Gregory Phillips spoke with the voice of many. His skin glowed with the same patterns as the activated device. "The vessels are ready," he said to his frightened workers. "The Great Migration can finally continue." Back on the Dauntless Asterisk, Wade received reports of strange behavior among some colonists. They spoke of memories that weren't their own, ancient cities, space travel, and technologies beyond human understanding. "It's not just activating their DNA," Ethan realized with horror. "The precursor technology is transferring consciousness. These dormant genes make humans compatible vessels for precursor minds." The Eldurian High Council confirmed Ethan's theory. "This is why Earth was quarantined," they explained. "We feared humans would activate precursor technology and become vessels for their return. Some precursors evolved into higher beings of pure energy and thought. Others became corrupted by the process, their minds fractured across space and time. Both factions left imprints that could transfer to compatible hosts." "Like humans," Wade said softly. "Yes," the Eldurian replied. "You were designed for this purpose. Your entire species has been shaped over millions of years to become perfect vessels." As they spoke, more structures activated worldwide. Each pulse sent signals deep into space, calling to something. In Antarctica, Diane watched the preserved precursor step from its pod. It looked at her with ancient eyes. "The preparation is complete," it said in perfect English. "After sleeping for eons, we return. Earth has always been ours. And now, humanity will help us reclaim what was lost." Gregory Phillips stood on the red Martian soil, watching his workers unload mining equipment. As CEO of Helios Dynamics, he had invested billions in this illegal operation. The Galactic Council's quarantine meant nothing to him. There was profit to be made, and he intended to make it. "Sir, we found something," called his site manager. "You need to see this." Gregory followed the manager to a freshly excavated tunnel. His workers had uncovered a smooth metal wall buried in the Martian rock. Strange symbols covered its surface, the same symbols found in Antarctica. "Precursor artifacts," Gregory whispered, touching the cold metal. "Just as our informant promised." For months, Gregory had secretly purchased information from someone inside Earth's government. He knew about the precursors before most of humanity did, and he intended to control their technology. Within days, his team broke through the wall and discovered a chamber filled with strange devices. Engineers began removing and studying them, uploading data to Gregory's private servers. "We don't understand what these do," warned his chief scientist. "We should wait for proper research." Gregory laughed. "Waiting doesn't make money. Start reverse engineering immediately." On the Dauntless *, Commander Wade received an urgent message from Earth Control. Helios Dynamics has established an illegal mining operation on Mars. Admiral Perry explained through the video link. "They've broken quarantine." "That fool Phillips," Wade muttered. "Does he understand what he's risking?" "It gets worse," Perry continued. "Our sensors detect Galactic Council ships changing course toward Mars. They're sending a fleet." Wade's blood ran cold. "They'll attack the colony." "Your orders are to evacuate the colonists before the Council fleet arrives. The Dauntless is the only ship close *" Wade ended the call and addressed her crew. "Set course for Mars, maximum speed. We have civilians to save." As the Dauntless raced toward Mars, engineer Sam Wilkins and physicist Dr. Nora Clark studied the data from Captain Bishop's mission. "These precursor artifacts aren't weapons," Nora said suddenly, looking up from her screen. "They're components of a communications network." Sam frowned. "Who were they trying to talk to?" "Not who," Nora replied. "What?" "These devices were designed to send signals deep into planets. I think they were communicating with something inside worlds." On Mars, Gregory's team activated one of the precursor devices. The metal sphere hummed to life, projecting strange patterns of light. "It's working," Gregory exclaimed. Then his smile faded as the device shot a beam of energy straight down, boring into Mars' surface. Deep underground, the beam reached something that had been sleeping for eons. The entire planet trembled. "What have you done?" screamed his chief scientist as equipment toppled around them. Back on Earth, every seismic monitoring station recorded simultaneous activity. The Antarctic structure began pulsing with energy. Professor Porter watched in awe as more chambers revealed themselves, walls sliding away to expose new areas. "The signal came from Mars," Frank said, checking his instruments. "Someone activated something there." In space, the Galactic Council fleet accelerated toward Mars. Their weapons systems powered up. The Dauntless reached the red planet just ahead of them. Wade sent urgent messages to the mining colony. "Evacuate immediately. Hostile forces approaching." On the colony's communication channel, she heard chaos and panic. "Something's happening to the artifacts," a voice shouted. "They're changing." Wade ordered shuttlecraft to begin evacuation. As the first colonists boarded, Sam and Nora studied readings from the planet's surface. "That device isn't just sending a signal," Nora realized with horror. "It's receiving one too. From Earth." Sam pointed to his screen. "Look at these readings from the colonists. The ones who worked directly with the artifacts showed genetic changes. It's subtle, but their DNA is being altered. Wade watched the Council fleet appear on long-range sensors. Time was running out. On Mars, Gregory stood before the activated device, mesmerized by its pulsing light. He reached out, touching its surface. "Sir, don't," his manager yelled. Too late, the light enveloped Gregory, and he collapsed. When he stood again, his eyes glowed with the same pattern as the device. "At last," he said, but his voice had changed. It echoed strangely, as if multiple voices spoke at once. "After billions of years, the network reactivates. Earth calls to us. We will answer." Captain Laura Bishop studied the holographic map of the Eldurian research facility orbiting Europa. After 3 weeks of planning, her infiltration mission was about to begin. "The security systems are advanced," she told her small team, "but not impossible to bypass." Dr. Ethan Miller adjusted his spacesuit. He wasn't a spy or soldier, but his knowledge of Eldurian biology made him essential for this mission. "Remember why we're doing this," Laura said. "Earth needs answers. The Eldurians are hiding something critical about our planet." Their stealth shuttle departed from a hidden base on Mars, using special shields to avoid detection. When they reached the Eldurian facility, they attached to an unused maintenance port. "Atlas, begin hacking sequence," Laura ordered. The team's specialized AI responded immediately, working on bypassing security protocols. Estimated time: 3 minutes. Atlas was designed specifically to interface with alien technology. It projected a field that made the team invisible to Eldurian sensors as they entered the facility. Inside, the corridors were tall and curved, built for the 7-foot Eldurians. The team moved silently toward the central data hub. "Look at this," Ethan whispered, pointing to a wall display showing Earth. Red dots pulsed at the same locations they had seen in the Antarctic hologram. "They're monitoring those sites," Laura said. "Atlas, record everything." In the main data center, Atlas connected to the Eldurian systems. "I have accessed their files," the AI announced. "Downloading now." Ethan watched the data stream into their devices. "There's information about something called the precursors here." Laura frowned. "What are precursors?" "According to this, they were the first advanced species in our galaxy," Ethan explained, reading the translations. "They disappeared billions of years ago. The Eldurians believe Earth was a major precursor world." "That matches what we found in Antarctica," Laura said. Atlas suddenly paused its download. "Warning. Security protocols detected. We have been discovered. Grab what we can and go," Laura ordered, drawing her weapon. As they turned to leave, they found their path blocked by an elderly Eldurian. Its skin glowed with pale blue light. "You should not be here," it said softly. Laura aimed her weapon. "We need answers about Earth." "I am Salthir," the Eldurian said. "I gave your scientists the crystal. I allowed your eye to bypass our security." Ethan stepped forward. "You wanted us to find this information." Zalthir's skin rippled with color. "Not all Eldurians agree with hiding the truth. Your species deserves to know about your world." "Then tell us," Laura demanded. "The beings you call precursors once ruled this galaxy," Zalthir explained. "They were ancient when the first Eldurian evolved. Earth was their home, possibly their original world." "What happened to them?" Ethan asked. "They disappeared suddenly. Some believe they ascended to another plane of existence. Others think they destroyed themselves, but certain factions among my people believe they never left." Laura lowered her weapon slightly. "They're still on Earth." "Not exactly," Zalthir said. "We believe they left technology and possibly consciousness imprints beneath your world's surface. Your recent deep drilling and energy projects may be activating these remnants." "Is that why you quarantined us?" Laura asked. "Yes. The Council fears humans will accidentally awaken precursor technologies that could threaten the galaxy." Zalthir moved closer. "But some of us believe humans have a right to their heritage." Alarms suddenly blared through the facility. "We must go," Zolther said urgently. "Take this data chip. It contains information about suspected precursor sites on Earth. Now hurry." The team rushed back to their shuttle, Atlas continuing to mask their presence. As they detached from the facility, Ethan studied the new information. According to this, the precursors were masters of genetic engineering and consciousness transfer, he said. They may have planted the seeds for human evolution millions of years ago. Laura stared at Earth through the viewport. "You mean we might be their descendants?" "Or their creations," Ethan replied. "Designed for some purpose we don't yet understand." As their shuttle raced back to Mars, Laura couldn't shake the feeling that time was running out. Whatever slept beneath Earth's surface was stirring, and neither humanity nor the Eldurians were prepared for what would happen when it fully awoke. Professor Diane Porter zipped her heavy coat against the Antarctic wind. 2 miles below her feet, her team had made a discovery that defied explanation. "The drilling team just reached the chamber," said Dr. Frank Martinez, her lead geologist. His breath formed white clouds in the freezing air. "You need to see this." They rode the elevator down the deep shaft, passing layers of ice that had remained undisturbed for millions of years. At the bottom, a group of scientists stood silent before a massive stone doorway. "We thought it was a natural formation," Frank said, pointing to symbols carved into the black stone. "But these markings match the ones from the Eldurian crystal." Diane touched the cold surface. "How old is this?" "At least 300 million years," Frank replied. "Before the dinosaurs. Before almost all life on land." "That's impossible," Diane whispered, but she knew it wasn't. The evidence was right in front of her. The team set up lights and cutting equipment. Hours later, they created an opening large enough to enter. Diane led the way, her flashlight revealing a vast chamber with smooth walls covered in the same strange symbols. Frank pointed to a corner where glass-like containers stood in neat rows. Inside each container floated a preserved specimen. They looked almost human but different, taller with elongated skulls and 6 fingers on each hand. "They look like—" Diane couldn't finish her sentence. "Like the Eldurians," Frank completed, "but not exactly." One container had broken open long ago. Frank carefully collected tissue samples from the preserved being inside. Back in their lab, he compared the DNA to human genetics. "This doesn't make sense," he said, showing Diane the results. "These beings lived 300 million years ago, but parts of their DNA match human sequences. It's as if they're our ancestors," Diane finished. "Or we were made by them." Meanwhile, in space, Commander Wade received alarming reports from deep space probes. The Dauntless was monitoring strange energy signatures from supposedly dead planets across the galaxy. "Each signal pulses in the same pattern," reported her science officer, "like brainwaves during sleep." Wade noticed Eldurian ships increasing patrols around Earth's solar system. They claimed it was to enforce the quarantine, but she suspected they were watching for something else. On Earth, Ethan and Olivia continued analyzing the crystal data. They discovered that the Eldurians had been monitoring specific locations on Earth for millions of years, including Antarctica. "We need to contact Professor Porter immediately," Ethan said, reaching for his phone. But before he could make the call, all global communications suddenly experienced interference. Strange signals disrupted satellite transmissions worldwide. In Antarctica, Diane's team discovered a central platform in the buried chamber. When Frank accidentally placed his hand on it, the entire structure hummed to life. Lights flickered on in sequences along the walls. "It's still working after 300 million years," Diane gasped. A holographic display appeared above the platform, showing Earth and the solar system. Then it expanded to show the galaxy, with certain stars highlighted. "Those must be their colonies," Frank suggested. "An ancient empire." The display zoomed back to Earth, showing a detailed scan of the planet's interior. Several points pulsed with light: Antarctica, the Mariana Trench, Yellowstone, and other locations. Frank took more samples from the ancient beings and made a shocking discovery. Their brain structure is unlike anything I've seen, but there are similarities to human brains. And these preserved specimens show signs of extreme psychic ability. He looked up at Diane. What if they could transfer consciousness? What if they never really died? As he spoke, the ground trembled slightly. Instruments across the research station registered simultaneous seismic activities at all the locations highlighted in the hologram. Something's happening, Diane said, checking the readings. It's like the planet is waking up. On the Dauntless asterisk, Commander Wade received an urgent message from Earth government. Return immediately. First contact situation has changed. Antarctic expedition has discovered pre-human civilization. Evidence suggests connection to Eldurian quarantine. Possible awakening event in progress. As Wade ordered the ship to change course, she noticed the Eldurian vessels were also rushing toward Earth. Whatever they feared was beginning to happen. 3 days after the Dauntless asterisk returned to Earth, Olivia Nichols sat in her lab, staring at the alien crystal. As Earth's top cryptographer, she had broken countless codes, but this was different. The crystal seemed alive, its patterns shifting whenever she tried a new decryption method. Any progress? Ethan asked, entering with 2 cups of coffee. He handed one to Olivia, who took it gratefully. Not much, she said, rubbing her tired eyes. It's like it's fighting me. Every time I think I've found a pattern, it changes. Ethan sat beside her. The Eldurians are billions of years old. Their technology would seem like magic to us. Olivia typed a new sequence into her computer. Well, I don't believe in magic. Just science I haven't figured out yet. Her screen suddenly flashed. The crystal pulsed with blue light, and streams of data filled the monitor. I did it, she gasped, leaning forward. It's unlocking. The data organized itself into star charts, historical recordings, and text in an unknown language that their computers slowly translated. Ethan and Olivia worked through the night, piecing together the information. Look at this, Olivia said, pointing to a star chart. It shows Earth, but from 300 million years ago. Ethan frowned. That's impossible. Humans weren't even close to existing then. There's more, Olivia said. A warning, repeated in multiple places. The cycle repeats. The sleepers will wake. Ethan felt a chill. The Eldurians believe something dangerous is hidden on Earth. Something old. Older than humanity. Meanwhile, Commander Wade stood before a video screen, speaking with Admiral Perry. Her face was grave. The Galactic Council has sent a formal invitation, the Admiral said. They want Earth representatives to attend an emergency session. This is unprecedented. Did they say why? Allison asked. No, but it must be connected to your meeting with the Eldurians. 2 weeks later, Allison led a small delegation to the Galactic Council station near Alpha Centauri. Navy Lieutenant Kevin Reyes walked beside her, serving as security. His hand rested on his sidearm as they entered the massive council chambers. 37 alien species filled the room, each strange and different. The Eldurians sat at the highest tier, watching silently as the humans entered. A large, insect-like being stepped forward. I am Counselor Vrix. We welcome Earth's representatives. Its voice was cold through the translator. Thank you, Allison replied. We're honored to join this assembly of advanced civilizations. You are not joining, Vrix said flatly. You are here to be informed of the Council's decision. The chamber grew quiet. Allison felt her stomach tighten. Earth and all human colonies are now under quarantine, Vrix announced. No human ships may travel beyond your solar system without Council approval. Any violation will be met with force. Shocked, Allison stepped forward. On what grounds? We've done nothing wrong. The aliens murmured among themselves. Allison noticed that they all looked to the Eldurians before speaking. The grounds are classified, Vrix said. This measure is for the safety of all galactic species, including your own. As the council debated, Kevin nudged Allison and pointed to the chamber walls. They were covered in ancient murals depicting a great war. Shadowy beings fought against united alien forces. One mural showed a solar system that looked exactly like Earth's, with 9 planets circling the yellow sun. "Commander," Kevin whispered, "those murals must be millions of years old, but that's clearly our solar system." Back on Earth, Ethan and Olivia made another discovery. The crystal contained DNA sequences and geological data about Earth. "These readings," Ethan said, pointing to a map, "they show energy signatures deep inside Earth's crust. And look at the dates. They go back hundreds of millions of years." Olivia pulled up more translated text. "According to this, Earth has had intelligent life before, long before humans." "That's not possible," Ethan said. "We would have found evidence." Olivia looked up grimly. "Unless someone removed it, or unless it's buried where we haven't looked yet." As they spoke, their computer pinged with an urgent message from Commander Wade. "Earth quarantined by Galactic Council. Coming home. Have discovered something important. The Council chambers have murals showing Earth's solar system in an ancient war. We're not the first Earth civilization to reach the stars." Commander Allison Wade stood at the viewport of the Dauntless Asterisk, watching the alien space station grow larger. Her heart beat faster as she adjusted her uniform. Humanity's first official meeting with an alien species was about to happen, and she was leading it. "Nervous?" asked Dr. Ethan Miller, standing beside her. His kind eyes crinkled at the corners as he smiled. "Wouldn't you be?" Allison replied. "The Eldurians have been watching stars die and civilizations rise for billions of years. We're babies compared to them." The Dauntless Asterisk docked with a soft thud. Allison led her small team through the airlock and into the neutral space station orbiting Proxima Centauri. The air smelled clean but strange, with a hint of something like cinnamon. The Eldurians waited in a large round room. They stood nearly 7 feet tall with smooth, almost translucent skin that glowed with soft blue light. Their 4 arms ended in 6-fingered hands, and their large eyes had no pupils, just swirling patterns of light. "Welcome, humans," said the tallest Eldurian. Its voice came through the translation devices as deep and musical. "I am Speaker Vora. We have awaited this meeting for many cycles." Allison stepped forward. "Thank you for this historic opportunity. I am Commander Allison Wade of Earth. We come with peaceful intentions and hopes for friendship." Ethan watched the Eldurians carefully. His job as xenobiologist was to understand alien behavior. Something felt wrong. The Eldurian skin flickered with rapid color changes. Purple, red, then back to blue. Their extra arms were held tight against their bodies. They looked afraid. "You have achieved faster than light travel quickly," said Vora. "Your species develops at an unusual rate." "We're eager to learn and grow," said Allison. "We have brought information about Earth to share with you. Our history, culture, achievements." "That will not be necessary," Vora interrupted. The colors under its skin pulsed rapidly. "We are familiar with your world." Ethan stepped forward. "You've been watching us. For how long?" The Eldurians looked at each other. Their skin flickered with more intense colors. "It is not important," said Vora. "What matters is establishing proper protocols for limited contact." "Limited?" asked Allison. "We hoped for open exchange of knowledge and—" "That is not possible at this time," said Vora firmly. "Earth must remain under observation." The tension in the room grew. Allison tried to save the meeting, discussing trade possibilities and cultural exchange, but the Eldurians gave short answers that led nowhere. After barely 30 minutes, Vora stood up. "This meeting is concluded. You will return to your ship. The Galactic Council will contact you with terms." "Terms?" Allison asked. "What terms? We haven't agreed to anything." But the Eldurians were already leaving. As they filed out, one elderly Eldurian with pale, almost white skin lingered behind. When the others were gone, It approached Ethan quickly. "I am Salthir," it whispered. Its voice trembled. "They will not tell you the truth, but you must know." It pressed a small crystal into Ethan's hand. "Earth is classified as Type O. Only one other world has ever received this designation in our history." "What does that mean?" Ethan asked, closing his fingers around the crystal. Salthir's skin flashed dark red. "It means something sleeps beneath your world. Something ancient. Something that terrifies even us." It looked toward the door nervously. "The data crystal is encoded. Find someone clever to unlock it." Before Ethan could ask more questions, Salthir hurried away, joining the other Eldurians. Back on the Dauntless Asterisk, Allison called an emergency meeting. "That went terribly," she said. "They're afraid of us. But why? We're centuries behind their technology." Ethan placed the crystal on the table. "Maybe this will tell us. This elder, Salthir, gave it to me secretly. Said Earth is classified as Type O, and that something ancient sleeps beneath our planet." Allison picked up the crystal, examining its strange, shifting patterns. "Send a message to Earth," she said finally. "Tell them we're coming home with urgent information. And find me our best cryptographer. We need to know what's on this crystal before we reach Earth." As the Dauntless Asterisk turned toward home, Ethan couldn't shake the image of the Eldurians' frightened eyes. What could make the galaxy's oldest species fear humans so much?